Welcome to Best Year Ever, a movie podcast where each week, one movie at a time, we'll attempt to answer this very important question. Was 2001 the best year ever for movies? I am your host, Jesús Gonzalez, and with me is the very loopy, the very goofy, the fanciful, the extravagant, the unbelievable, the peculiar, the odd, the weird, the crazy, the outlandish, the amazeballs. I've said this before, but the amazeballs. Casey Glynn.
Hi, Jesus.
Casey. How are you feeling today? You're feeling goofy today. We're feeling silly.
I'm feeling like a silly, goofy girl.
You are being a silly, goofy girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
But so am I. So here we are.
We're all silly, goofy girls eating girl dinner.
This is the first time. I'm not going to include this in the podcast. I will include this explanation, but this is the first time that I had to do the intro twice because Casey, right out of the gate, derailed the whole intro.
I did.
So that's the energy that we're bringing today. Casey, what are we talking about?
We are talking about A Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale. Ledger. I love that movie. I'm already spoiling best year ever or not, but I love that movie.
I'm not loving this movie poster.
No. Well, yeah. I had to look for one that I kind of liked. His head looks too big.
Yeah. Like proportionally.
His head does look too big. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
I'm already derailing it.
You know what happened? That armor, he doesn't use that armor without a helmet, like rarely.
Oh, you're right.
So I think it must have been like a set photo with the helmet, and then they're like, no, we need Heath Ledger's face shown. Yeah. So, but also Jocelyn, the love interest's head looks very small compared to his.
Yeah, she's not like far enough behind him to make sense of her smaller head.
It's like half his size's head.
Yeah.
Anyway. Regardless of the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is one of my favorite movies, and that's why we're talking about it today. We did Casey's extremely stressful favorite movie, Blackberry. And I have recommended it after we watch it again to several people. It's a good movie. I just, it's, I've told you this before. It's part of the list of my movies that I really, really like, but I only watch once or twice.
Yeah.
This movie has slowly moved away from the list. I'll watch it again maybe later.
Wow. Okay.
Just because, and solely based on the type of like telecom-ness of it. Like solely based on work. Like I can use it for work stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I would watch it again.
Yeah.
But it's a stressful movie. But in contrast of that, I wanted to de-stress us. I wanted to have a fun, romantic, silly, epic movie that can distract us all from the dumpster fire of a world we live in right now.
Yes. Yes.
And also knowing that Casey is an absolute Ren Fair freak. Like she loves going to the Ren Fair.
It's my favorite thing of all time.
Motherfucker, you make fun of me because I invited you to the Ren Fair once because she's too cool for school. She doesn't go to the Ren Fair.
Do you want some Casey lore?
I want some Casey lore. Is this going to be like a traumatizing thing that will happen to you in Ren Fair? That's why you don't go anymore?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I have been to the Ren Fair or Scarborough Fair, or like one of the fairs one time, and I have a distinct memory. And this is how you know I was young, because it was a trigger warning. I don't know. My mom died when I was 6, right? And so my mom was around for this memory. But I do remember like being on my dad's shoulders and eating like sugary peanuts, and then being on one of those like boat rides where you swing back and forth, but it was like a guy pushing it.
I know exactly which one.
Yeah, but I also remember it being really hot and my hands being sticky. So it wasn't encoded as the happiest memory ever. But there you go.
Have you been to a Ren Fair since?
I have not.
Okay, first of all, when you said no, I thought it was because you went as an adult. You don't go to the Ren Fair as a kid. Ren Fairs, I don't think, are for kids at all. There are kids there, and it's like it's not an adult thing, although there are stories about the Ren Fair people. I have some friends that work there. but you need to go as an adult. We need to go. Yeah. We have to go.
Okay.
And there's one in April.
Okay. All right. You know what?
And it's not that hot.
I'll do it for you, Jesus.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. But speaking of some memories I have really quick from before my mom died, I do remember seeing this as a kid, like in the living room with my mom. So there you go. Crazy. And I specifically remember it because of Paul Bettany's ass.
Fair. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's always very funny to see a very flat ass.
Yeah.
That man has a concave ass, and it's always really funny.
But it's like so perfect for his body.
He's a stick.
Yes.
It's a stick.
And it's proportional.
All right. You know what? Let's get to the background before we get any loopier. A Knight's Tale, released in 2001 with a budget of $65 million, box office of $117.5 million, based on The Knight's Tale by Geoffrey Chaucer. Loosely based on. It was written and directed by Bran Helgeland and second unit direction by Alan Graff. And I wanted to point him out because he's not credited as a second unit director, he's credited as a stunt coordinator. But every time you see the actors put their visors off, like put their helmets on, he's the director. All of the action, joust, and sword fight scenes, that's him. And I'll get into his background later, but you can tell that this was directed by someone who's experienced in sports and stunt direction. Anyway, it was edited by Kevin Stitt, starring Heath Ledger as William Thatcher, Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein, real person, Shannon Sossamon as Jocelyn, Paul Bettany as Geoffrey Chaucer, also real person, Mark Addy as Roland, Alan Tudyk, the amazing Alan Tudyk as Watt, Laura Fraser as Kate, and Rufus Sewell as Count Adhemar. Maybe real person? Yeah. Amazing cast. It's kind of like the Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It's a movie that happens to have an amazing cast about to be exceedingly famous. Like you can't have them in this type of movie anymore because they're going to be stupid famous from that point on.
Yeah,
and I just love like the way everyone is perfect in that role. Like I don't think anyone's out of place except one background character that is going to be my worst actor ever.
Interesting. Okay.
But I'll get into that. Anyway, you want to start the movie?
Let's do it.
So we start with an epic, like just music, just like, and you see the slow-mo of the joust and a knight who we later soon actually we'll find out is Sir Thomas falling in the joust. And I love that it starts with, you think it's going to be an epic. You see this text on the screen that tells you a little bit about knighthood and who's allowed to compete and about jousting. Immediately cut into Robert Baratheon, a.k.a. Mark Addy, who's Roland, with the grossest. This is the grossest gag of the whole movie. Even I don't know if you stay for the after credits, Casey. Okay, but this is grosser than that. Mark, what's his name? No, Roland and Will interchange the nose plugs.
Yeah.
Immediately telling you what type of movie this is.
That's how COVID started.
Honestly, yeah, back then.
Yeah.
Like this is how it slowly incubated nose plug to nose plug.
Exactly.
But it turns out their knight, what did I say his name was? Thomas, yeah. Thomas the train engine. Yeah. Sir Ector. Oh, wait, no. It's Sir Ector. The knight Ector died. It's his stench. That's why they have the plugs. How stinky they have to be that they didn't really know that he was dead until a little while. It took him a while.
I feel like his body would not have decomposed that quickly for it to smell bad. Unless it's like the whole thing of like when you die, you expel.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing I can think of. Yeah.
Yep. He got hit so hard that he shook himself. Then we get Alan Tudyk right away. We'll have him here as Watt. So we have our first three main characters, Roland, Watt, and William. And they all try to figure out what they're going to do with Sir Eric and the tournament, because turns out that Sir Eric has one more round. Are they rounds? I'm going to call them rounds. They have one more round, and he just has to stay on the horse.
Mm-hmm.
And they win. Roland's going to come clean because we get a herald from the tournament, like saying like, "What's up?" And Roland's going to come clean, but William stops him right away, while Watt is just kicking the shit out of the dead corpse that is Sir Eric. And we know that no, he'll be fine. He'll be right up. I don't know why the herald didn't see, hey, that's a dead guy over there, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where it starts. William disguises himself as a knight and competes and barely wins. But before we get to that, right after this scene, we get the other introduction of this movie. I feel like we get three separate introductions to the movie. You get the epic, like this, like a knight's tale. It's an epic. Then you get the comedy with the nose plug, and then you get the anachronistic of "We Will Rock You" as a diegetic music. This is heard in the stands, like. And the funniest, because there's bunch of gags. You have the wave, or the Mexican wave, as it was called in Australia, because it originated in Mexico in the World Cup. You get like someone. I think this is where you see someone eating a turkey. Turkeys didn't exist back then in Europe.
Yeah.
This is why this is a Ren Fair.
Yeah, turkey leg. I love also how they're like playing like "We Will Rock You" like on their little like medieval trumpets.
No, I was getting to that because I fucking love that. And then like, because you don't know it's diegetic, you think maybe they're kind of hearing this, but because you hear the guitar riffs, and then as soon as the guitar riff ends, the guy lowers his trumpet. So he was playing a guitar riff through his trumpet. I love that. This is amazing. But that also tells you very, very smartly that this movie is going to be anachronistic in a way that it just feels right to the modern audience. If they only had music from back then, it wouldn't have the same emotions that we had. If they only talked as they did back then, we wouldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
We wouldn't understand Proto-English and Germanic English and whatever other languages that they had. Like, one of my pet peeves, and I have many, is when I feel like it started with Gladiator, that every Greek and Roman had an English accent. And Egyptian, all Egyptians back then had English accents.
Yeah, they're all British.
They're all British. But yeah, so you get William disguised as Eric, barely winning. And when he's being presented with a trophy, his helmet is bent in conveniently, so he can't remove it. So they won't know that it's actually William Thatcher. How did they get that off? Also, who fixed the helmet? Because they don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
I love that. I have here, and I know it's guitar equals trumpet. So they eventually sell the trophy, get I think 15 silver or 15 coins, and Roland, who's pretty much the leader of the group, divides it equally between the three of them. And William was like, "Hold on, we can do this. We can pretend to be knights and earn some money." He wants the glory. He wants to change his stars. I'm a sucker for that saying.
Politician. He's a politician.
Shut up, Casey.
He fucking coerced them. He's corrupt. They just wanted to have some drinks and go home.
No, Roland is the one that makes the decisions. Roland makes all the decisions. Nothing happens if Roland doesn't say. So he's the leader of this party.
I know, but he got
by the way,
convinced.
I have a thought. A way we can look at this movie, but I'll get to that later.
Okay.
But William says, "Hey, we can take our earnings and invest it and train and buy horses and do all this." So he gives one coin to each, and he keeps nothing for him. Just saying.
It's kind of like a Bitcoin pitch, you know? Just like
a little
buy
bit.
buy some Bitcoin. Don't do it.
But or what's the Haktua girl coin? Hack coin?
Yeah. I don't even fucking know. But yes, my God.
So they start training. I do like that when they're talking about this, you have someone hang in the background. You just have someone, like it's just a body in the background. And you're like, why is it there? What's happening?
Yeah.
And it just so that Roland tells William, no, if we do this, we're going to end up like him. Like, he is nothing. We're alive. But yeah, I do like how immediately he's like, come on, you won't take this money away from me. We're friends. And immediately they both attack him at the same time. And Watt goes for the biting. I love Watt. What's the best?
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, they start training. You get a lowrider montage. You have so many cool montages, songs here. I love it. I know we talk about this, and then I know it kind of bug you, but honestly, because I've seen this movie so many times, but it took me a while in this rewatch to notice that it was lowrider. That's just so in my head. Funny. It was just part of the movie.
I immediately start thinking about the George Lopez show, like right from the get-go.
That's racist.
You know it. That's me.
That's me. But there's a fun montage. William is kind of getting better-ish. He almost drowns at one point. It's fun. You right away see that he's really good at the sword. Like, he's very good at the sword, but all the fame and glory is in the joust. So he wants to get better at that, at jousting. After a while, cut to them just going down the road. William is on the horse because he's the knight, pretending. And just full on butt all over the screen. This is how we get introduced to Joffrey or Geoff. I think they call him Geoff, right? But yeah, you get a full screen of Paul Bettany's ass. And they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm trudging. To trudge. I love everything that he says is amazing. So I guess I can kind of tell you this, because now that I'm playing D&D, I kind of saw this movie in a different light as a D&D campaign.
Okay.
This is how it feels to play a low magic or no magic, because those do exist, D&D campaign. And you have a party. So you have your initial party of William, Watt, and Roland. And then you get introduced to Joffrey a little bit later. That happens. Like, sometimes you'll start with a couple of people, and then someone misses. That happened to me. Like, I missed the first few sessions, and then I got introduced later. And it was very similar introduction as a bard. So in my head, Joffrey's a bard. William, I feel like the paladin is a good one.
Yeah, I can see that.
Joffrey is a fighter or barbarian. I think more barbarian. Oh, Pascasus. I meant Roland. Roland the barbarian. I said Joffrey twice. Back to you, Pascasus. And Watt. I was going to say rogue, but he's so loud, so I'm going to put him in fighter.
Okay. Yeah.
So you got the fighter, the barbarian, the paladin, and the bard.
Okay. I can support this.
Especially Joffrey, like he's a bard. He gets nutties. He critical fails at one point. Yeah, so this is the introduction to a part of our party, Joffrey, who is or was a real person. He actually wrote A Knight's Tale, but it's not this. Like, it's not really close to this story. It's just, I think they just took the name and that's it.
Probably. Some more Casey lore. I was an English major in college, so I had to read Chaucer. And I know what I was confirming, though, is that I guess when you're an English major and you read Chaucer, you don't read, like, the modern version. And I wanted to make sure, like, that I wasn't just, like, you know, bragging for no reason. But I did look at my original textbook. I was like, oh, fuck, no, I did absolutely read that in the Middle English.
Wait.
So, yeah.
Was that readable? Is that readable? Okay, so here's my question. Did you read Middle English phonetically translated to actual English, or do you read actual Middle English?
Your professors like teach you like how to like say it. And I mean, the nice thing about Middle English is like it makes a lot more sense of like, this is what this sound should be. And so you just kind of have to like reorient yourself of like, instead of thinking about how it sounds in like modern English, you'd be like, well, what would I think that it should sound like instead of what it does sound like? And then you get Middle English.
Oh, that's fine. My favorite fact, Casey, you can confirm or tell me that I'm wrong, that I heard this wrong, but I heard somewhere the closest thing to how Middle English sounds, or how actually Shakespeare Middle English?
I think he's early modern English. So not as bad as Middle English.
Middle English, Shakespeare, like around there, Captain Jack Sparrow is the closest sounding thing.
So I would say
the stereotypical pirate sound, it's close to the accent of Middle English. That's what I've heard.
I believe it sounds more like a Scots person with like more of an Irish accent. Like it sounds like a mix between those two. It's very sing-songy. It's like, I'll send you a video of what it sounds like. But it was also in school, like they told you, like, if you want to like try to understand these texts, you have to read this out loud. Like it's not going to really make sense to you in your own head, which is also very interesting.
Well, now you have to kind of read something in Middle English for this episode later on. It's going to happen. No, not one day. Today. Today's happening. Anyway, so they find out that Joffrey was he famous at the time or famous writer? He thinks
I
at
think
least
he had a
famous.
pretty decent reputation at the time. Like he was well known. I don't think he was necessarily popular or a lot of people liked him, but I do believe they knew of him. In the story, it seems like he's in his late 20s, early 30s. So I don't know when Chaucer actually became Chaucer. Yeah.
But he offhanded mentions that he can do papers of nobility, and they're going to need that.
Yeah.
So they struck a deal.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the funny thing is, like, this movie does do a really good job, with the exception of choosing to use modern songs to replicate what they believe to be an accurate feeling if you were in the time. Right. Other than that, like, they do such a great job at like being exact, to the point where this movie takes place in the year of like Chaucer's life, or the period of Chaucer's life, that nobody knew where he was or what he was up to. And so it's kind of like,
that's fun.
Yeah, they conveniently use this gap in like our knowledge of Chaucer, and they're like, this is what he was up to.
No, yeah, what I love is that, like I said, this movie is extremely anachronistic. You have David Bowie at one point as a diegetic music, but it's so accurate. I feel like the costumes, with the exception of Jocelyn, we'll get to her.
Oh yeah,
I feel like they're mostly very accurate. The setting, the props, everything around them. Again, with the exception of like, the turkey, the wave, like certain things that are choice. They're very, very purposeful. They wasn't an accident that they had turkey there. It's not like, oh, we didn't know there were turkeys back then in Europe. No. This is to tell the audience this is a extremely, extremely accurate LARPing Ren Fair. This is what this is. I feel like you needed to see it's always, every Ren Fair, you're going to see this idiot in the back, dressed as a Star Trek character, saying, well, Scotty, we traveled back in time, or what's the holodeck? Oh, the holodeck is malfunctioning. Everyone thinks they're, like, you always see that idiot in Ren Fairs. They're cosplaying that it's a holodeck.
That would, I would turn violent. I'd be like, get a fucking life.
Yeah. Well, because of that, you see them less now.
Thank God.
But anyway, yes. So, but before they get into a tournament, Will does threaten Chaucer, and he said he will fuck. The favorite threat that, not Will, Watt. Watt. Well, the favorite threat that Watt says is, I will fog you. What is fogging? I don't know what fogging is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like lashing? I don't know. But he just says, pain! So much pain! So yeah, Chaucer forges documents in order for Will to enter. They're like, yeah, it's fine. While they're walking towards the tournament, Chaucer kind of just walks away. He says that he has to see a man about a dog. I didn't get that. I feel like that meant something. I didn't get it.
I don't remember that, to be honest with you.
So, but the point is, Chaucer just kind of wanders off.
Yeah.
Will is walking, is on his horse singing. I wonder if that song is actually accurate for that period. I feel like it could be. But he's kind of singing to himself, and he sees a figure in white. Jocelyn, the foxy lady. I'm angry that we didn't hear that song, Foxy Lady. Like, yeah, it was right there.
A missed opportunity.
It was too obvious. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. But yeah, we see Jocelyn dressed in stark contrast with everything else. She is not period accurate, I feel like.
Probably Probably not. Yeah.
None of it. It's inspired by.
I think like maybe the shapes of the garments it could be accurate. Like I don't necessarily know if like the color and like the textures and the fabrics themselves are accurate.
Because she's dressed like a bishop right now, like an actual bishop from a chess figure, like a chess figure bishop. This is how she's dressed right now. Because you're right with the shape. So Will follows her and his horse, and they're kind of talking. He has, as you would say, Riz. He has just they have so much chemistry, both of them. It's so easy. You believe it.
I agree.
He fumbles a little bit. Like she's like, "Would you follow me if I'm ugly?" Or he's like, "No." I mean, yes. I don't know. But he asked for her name, and she's like, "You should call me Foxy." Oh yeah, this is when we realize they're inside a church.
And there are no pews.
No pews. Yes, so that's something accurate.
Yeah, to the time. Very
little decoration. Great use of green screen. Like this is obviously all green screen, but it looks great.
Yeah.
For the time also. And yeah, father freaks out, yells at them. Worst actor ever. I hated his whole vibe. Like, you're doing too much. Just calm down a little bit.
So funny.
He was too much. The beard was awesome though. But yeah, he gets his little minions to pray away Will and his horse.
Which is a very funny shot.
It's so funny. It's so good.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, don't you have any shame to Jocelyn? And you're cursed with beauty. I mean, I get it. And she kind of like, oh, I know. And he kind of puts his hand so she'll kiss the ring. I never got that. That's weird. And apparently the actor, what's her name? I'm not going to remember her name. Shannon improvised this. Yeah. Because she looks at the ring and, it's a good ring. He has like, whatever, and starts singing away. He was acting for the Oscar. He was like, this is my moment. Right after this, he gave it his shot. Right after this, we get a quick montage of Will jousting. And like, this is where you get the really good direction of Alan Graff. Like the main director, Brian Helgen, like he did an amazing job throughout the whole movie. But I really want to point out, Alan, of how he captured the jousting and as a tournament, and he treated like this is a sports movie. It's structured like a sports movie. I feel like every other character is one-dimensional except Will and the bad guy. Especially the one thing that this movie doesn't do great is women characters. They're just there for Will.
They did Kate dirty, so I didn't love that.
Yeah, because I mean, jumping to the end a little bit, but Jocelyn forgives Will like way too quick.
Yeah.
He
fumbles big
Ulrich.
time.
I don't know, when he's revealed that he's not Ulrich and Will, she's like, yeah, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that was a little wild. I was like,
I will get to that scene.
Yes. Oh, really quick, I do want to talk about the lances. Because at this point we've already seen a few of them. But so they had to create them in a way that they would splinter convincingly without taking out the stunt riders. And so the body of each lance was scored so that it would break easily, and the tips were made of balsa wood. So each was also hollowed out and the hole filled with balsa chips and uncooked linguine to make convincing splinters. That's fucking cool. So
that again, we're jumping ahead a little bit, but the whole "I'm gonna lose" montage, where Roland Watt and was the other Kate, yeah, when they're like, that's all linguine, so they're being like just spray with linguine.
Yep, pretty much.
That is amazing, and I love that. So we see a little bit of Will jousting. Then we cut to because someone tells Will that they have Chaucer. So what happened to Chaucer? Chaucer's naked again. You get another ass shot of Paul Bettany. Also, apparently, when he was walking down the road naked, that was his first day of filming, which is great. God. I think that's great. But yeah, apparently he has a gambling problem. That's why he was naked in the first place. And he's being held by these two dudes who are definitely caricatures. Like, they're bad guys. And I think this might be one of your fun facts, Casey, but these are actual characters of Chaucer's story, right?
Yeah, I didn't even have to write it down as a fun fact because I just fucking knew because I'm a nerd. He makes a joke about like writing about them and like their characters, like, yeah, in the Canterbury Tales.
So I didn't know that, but I kind of figured that. Like,
yeah, they do.
When I found out that he was an actual writer, like, oh, there must be like, somebody.
Yeah.
Wait, Canterbury Tales. That sounds very familiar. I'm not an English major, believe it or not. No. But that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it's known to be like, I mean, you've also probably heard of like Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, right? So like around the same time.
Is that part of it?
No, but like sort of like that same era. And then what Chaucer did, right, is he just made fun of everybody in the Canterbury Tales. And like that's really how he became popular, is just roasting the shit out of people. And like calling religious people like heretics and like saying like, oh, you're fucking ugly because your heart is bad. So he's kind of he dunked on people. Yeah.
So his character then, and then this movie is pretty accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the guy, but like, I bet it's not too far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Will's like, how much does he owe you? And he owes him, I think he said like 10 gold pieces, something ridiculous like that. And like, what happens if he doesn't pay you? And they'll basically not flay him. They're going to take him from his flesh. There's a moment where Chaucer fucks up, but I don't know. I want you to tell me what you think, because Chaucer's like, Will, please help me. Oh, he's like, please, Will. And then William's like, because he's Ulrich. He's about to tell him. And Chaucer kind of fixes it and says, will you help me? So, did Chaucer fuck up and accidentally call him Will? Or did he threaten Will and saying, I know your secret. You better help me or I will out you?
I feel like it's a threat.
I don't know. Because I know I pointed it out, but I want to... I could take it both ways. Like, yes, it could be a threat, or it could be a Chaucer fucked up, but he immediately recovered and tried to help Will. And right then, Will thought, oh, he has a good heart. I'm going to help him. Because Will is all about helping people that are good.
Yeah.
So I get it either way, but I feel like he didn't fuck up. It was a minor threat. It was like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
You better help me.
Like, I'm here to, like, help you with your papers and, like, show that you're legitimate. Yeah. Like, maybe not necessarily, like, I'm going to reveal your secret, but more so, like, you still need me. Also, have we already gotten through Chaucer's first intro speech?
No.
Okay, perfect.
But, no, I don't want to get to that. Will agrees to pay these two dudes, and but he hasn't had the money yet. So he's going to win and then pay them. But they're late to Will's first sword match, I guess. And they're like, Chaucer is ready to introduce him. He's like ready to give his bardic inspiration. But they're, nope, too late. All right. And then the other guy immediately just starts attacking Will, but Will recovers pretty quick, beats him, but no problem. And then, and this is the first time we hear Chaucer do his bardic inspiration, his whole speech that nobody's used to. I feel like this is a fun fact that Casey's gonna come with.
So are we at the part where like he does the speech and then like everybody's quiet afterwards? Okay, perfect. So when Chaucer first introduces Sir Ulrich in his speech, the crowd doesn't react at first because the Czech extras didn't understand it. So Mark Addy's loud prompt tipped them off to start cheering. So like that wasn't like the fact that like that was like natural and like improvised.
Fucking love it. Yeah. Casey, did you know that in the Two Towers, when Aragorn kicks a helmet and yells, Viggo Mortensen, that fact is for A Knight's Tale.
Really? Is it? Okay, fine, cut it. We don't need to put it in there.
No, I'm leaving all of this here.
I have this pen, I'm just gonna jab it at my temple now. Right?
The next time we watch the Two Towers, like, hey, did you know? Man, I had that that locked in. I had even Viggo Mortensen
so
I wouldn't get it wrong because I knew you were going to say that fun fact. And I'm like,
oh my God. Okay, well, do you know that Paul Bettany developed laryngitis because of all the yelling he had to do in this movie?
I believe it.
Yeah.
I 100% believe it.
There you go.
Yeah, no. He yelled a lot.
Yeah, he fucking screaming his little head off.
So we get another montage. Taking care of business every day. I love all these dumb songs for the montages. Mm-hmm. They fit.
It's kind of like giving girly pop. I'll just say it.
100%. No, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of slow-mo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of like epic, like swinging of the sword and the joust too, but especially this, I feel like I saw it more here. Mm-hmm. Slow motion cameras shoot at more frames per second. Like usually it's like 24, but these are like way more frames per second. I'm saying that you're yawning, but I'm saying that because right at the end of the montage, because like Will just destroys everyone and swords. It's slow-mo, and you get the last guy that William defeats, and it's still slow-mo, and then everyone's cheering, yeah! And then you get this going back to not slow-mo. It's still, but it's one take, and they're not slow-mo anymore, like normal speed now. But because it's being shot with these cameras, slow-mo cameras, at a normal speed, everything is like, there's a lot happening. That I got disoriented. I always got disoriented by this little scene right after this slow-mo part. And I never knew why. And I really realized it's because of camera.
Okay.
But this is a part when Watt, I'm going to say his name wrong all the time, by the way. But Watt, they're going down the crowd and he's like, do you want to touch it? Do you want to touch it? This is the part.
That's so funny.
But William is not satisfied. Like he wants to be a champion with jousting. Like, that's where the fame and glory is. That's where the money is. Mm-hmm. So we got another like a quick jousting match, and his armor is damaged. So they have to fix it, but they have no money yet. Mm-hmm. So they go to a bunch of armorers, and they finally land on Kate, who's the only woman. Blacksmith. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I couldn't think of that word.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so I keep saying armor because I have D&D in my head. But yeah, they're going to blacksmiths. And she's like, no money. I won't do it. And Will gaslights her into fixing his armor.
He fucking manipulates the shit out of her.
Yeah. But she kind of does that a little bit to him later on. So I feel like there's a good relationship there. But I do like that he's like, because I'm a woman. And he's like, no. They say your shit with armor. The fact you being a woman didn't really come into a conversation. You're right. That's politician 101. That's good manipulation. This is where we meet Kate, who is the artificer of the party. And she fixes Will's armor.
And the Nike gal. She developed the Nike logo.
We'll get into the double Nike.
The double fucking Nike.
Is it just do it, or just do it, or just do it?
Or just do it.
Just do it. Right after this, and right after Kate agrees to fix Will's armor, we get another big introduction of the villain of the story, Count Adhemar. Count. Do we ever know like a good count? Like is someone a count, but it's also a nice person? I don't think we have.
No, that's a very good point.
But like in every good sports movie, the bad guy is all in black, always. Slick hair, or the closest to slick hair for medieval times, but it looked very greasy hair at least.
Yes, it's great. It's not slick because he has these perfect ringlets.
It's not slick.
You know what? He took care of his curls, unlike Will. Will's curls were so fucking whack. Jesus Christ. And like, it's probably just Heath Ledger's hair, and like, rest in peace, King. But like, it was the terrible thing of like the top layer being a little, and then the bottom layer being like super coily, tight curls. And it just drove me fucking nuts.
What do you think of Will's initial hair? Like the dirty dreadlocks, beard at the beginning?
I do prefer the unkempt curls to
good
white person with dreads. Yes.
Honestly, even as a kid, I was like, that felt really out of place.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of get it. I feel like, it's kind of the evolution of the character.
He could have just had long hair and a braid, low-key.
Yeah.
Because, you know why I feel it's so unnatural? Because white people's hair doesn't naturally do that. Ever. It will never naturally do that. So it's not like, oh, he's been working and he never combs. It just doesn't, it doesn't become dreads. Well,
and this being a movie that like every single thing has a purpose, I feel like, was that making fun of the LA bum or like the beach bum? Will's a teenager here, right? Like he's like 18 or 19, the oldest. Yeah, because we get the flashback and he's a kid and they say, how long has it been? And he says 12 years. So that kid's not more than 10. Like he's around 7, 6, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I see.
So he's like 20 or less than 20.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like everyone as a teenager went through a weird phase. You know about my mohawk mullet that I had as a teenager.
Yeah,
I had a short mohawk that ended up with a almost rat tail mullet. There are no pictures of that.
Oh my God.
But anyway, Count Adhemar. His herald introduces Count Adhemar, and then I forget what he said, but he's like just throws a line at Jocelyn. Again, Jocelyn is dressed like this power suit. It's like it's kind of Kate Middleton had. It's like it's not medieval at all. It's amazing. I love it. Everything that Jocelyn wears, I fucking love. She's not impressed by the Count and the line, but it is a good excuse to explain to the audience the rules of jousting. And we kind of get about like the horsing. You get how many flags you get if you hit on the chest or versus on the head and all that.
It was
when they're talking.
It's so natural, like the way that they were able to like explain the rules, like to the audience. Like it's quite impressive how they pulled that off.
And I feel like Jocelyn know the rules. Yeah, she knew the rules. She just didn't want to talk to this guy. He was there, so like just say she just wanted to kind of keep in talking about something else that it wasn't about her.
I think it can also be like two other things, right? Either like a test to see like if he's kind and patient and explaining things, or also like on the other hand, it could just be like, are you going to be a fucking asshole and degrading?
Well, I feel like he was talking about something that he likes.
Yeah.
He's not interested in her as a person. So he's just like explaining things. But regardless, they're talking.
And he's an asshole.
You cut to he's an. And this is when Will tells Chaucer that I'm shooting for the stars. I want her. Give me advice. Give me some lyrics. Some bardic inspiration, please. By the way, Chaucer has an amazing duster. There's almost a duster, but it's a coat. And throughout the whole movie, I think Chaucer is the best dressed. Like I wish I could pull that off. I can't, but I wish I could. I could pull off the naked though, but not the other one. Thank you for agreeing for that.
Okay. I felt like I just got set up for a trap.
I'm full of traps today. So the Count, Adhemar, and Jocelyn are talking. I do like the herald, the Count's herald. He has like a little falcon. And that was a sign of nobility like back then. That's accurate also. And this is when William approaches her and Count Adhemar just starts mean girling Will. Won't let his line just get in. Count Adhemar asks Will to introduce himself, and Will, caught off guard, just says, and then Count Adhemar again, mean girling him. Sir. So yeah.
Fucking overwhelmed. Overwhelmed the enemy. Can't get it again.
Jocelyn, again, not impressed. Actually, that makes her feel for Will. I actually root for Will.
Yeah.
She doesn't like assholes. And yes, this is where we get the Chaucer introduction. He goes the whole speech. Like, nobody is expecting it. Nobody wants it.
Nobody fucking wants it.
Because we first get the herald of the knight that Will's competing against. And then we're going to find out someone important later. And then we get Chaucer's introduction. And it's just pure poetry. Like, it's amazing. Chaucer, amazing speech. And then we get the match between William and I forget the name of the other knight, but the other knight. William pretty much kicks the other knight's ass. The other knight's still standing, but he goes up to William and says, I'm done. I don't want, can we show some mercy? I don't want to back down, but I can't. And William like, yeah, let's just call it a tie. It's fine.
Yeah.
And, or I don't, did they tie or did they just kind of like, cause they kind of walk or with the horses, they kind of just trotting next to each other.
Yeah.
And they kind of do like a thing with the lance. And it's kind of like a
I don't think it
draw.
counted as a draw, but I think it counted as like it was a more respectable way to end, to say like, all right, we're done. Like you win.
Yeah. Like because William does advances after this.
Yeah.
And this is where the Count, not taking a hint that this is not what Jocelyn is about, he's like, oh, he showed weakness. And she's like, no, he showed mercy. Oh yeah, no, she got the hots for him. And why wouldn't you? With those curls? Then we cut to William, Roland, and Watt later that night. And William is like, oh, I can't stop thinking about Jocelyn. Blah, 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 blah. I love that Watt's whole character is just about food. I identify with him so much. He's dreaming about pastries. He wakes up.
No, that's me for real too. God.
Pastries.
I have a fucking chocolate chip cookie waiting for me upstairs. I can't stop thinking about it.
That's all you're thinking about.
Yes. I just want that fucking cookie.
No, we're not even halfway this movie, and it's been an hour and 13 minutes. But it does go faster after this.
Yeah, oh yeah, it does.
Then we cut to Jocelyn and her maid just talking about boys and William. I don't think this movie passes the Bechdel test.
Probably not, but Bechdel test is kind of bullshit anyway, Loki.
But yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But like the point being that nobody is even two-dimensional. Every character is one-dimensional except for maybe William.
Yeah, and it's actually maybe not even William. William's dad. Has a lot of depth. Count Dracula, that motherfucker, no depth.
Adamar,
no depth.
Yeah. Did we already talk about the two random knights that passed by Jocelyn? And they're like, I'm going to win this for you. I forget if it was this after this or before this. But there are two knights.
Yeah, it was around
this. Once in all black, once in all gold. And I feel like that's an Easter egg for something. They feel a little bit out of place. But it caught my eye.
Yeah.
That one is black, and one is all gold. Yeah, but they both, what I wanted to mention is that they both kind of say, I'm going to win this for you. And we kind of have that established as every single night tells Jocelyn, I'm going to win this for you. But she's like, no, you're winning this for yourself. You're not doing this for me.
Yeah.
And that kind of comes back later. After the night, Jocelyn, again, dressed yellow, amazing haircut. Very 90s, like very early 2000s. And she gives Will a little handkerchief thingy for her favor, basically.
Because it's so early 2000s, I do really wish that they had put some like butterfly clips in her hair. I think that really could have gone hard. Yeah.
Or this is a little problematic. Chopsticks. It's a big thing back then.
That could have also worked for the time, for sure.
Yeah, problematic.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing from the early 2000s.
It is, yeah, it was.
So, because this is the first Will versus Count Adhemar joust. And Will is pumped. Will is pumped because he has Jocelyn's favor. Will is pumped because he's going to fight against Count Adhemar. He just knows he's an asshole. He's wearing all black after all. And then when the Count first hits Will, he's very excited because the Count is very strong. Like Will's like, because you get their first like encounter, and you get Will's reaction of like, he hits like a tank. It's amazing. I love it. And the Count Adhemar is like, he has no form. He has no style. And he's hurt. He doesn't want to admit that he's hurt.
Yeah.
But like they had the same like injury, or they had the same force, but it's a reaction of both of them. I think it also has to do with Will's youth and excitement. Like his first tournament, his first thing that like he's doing. He's 18, 19. Count Adhemar probably in his late 20s, early 30s. I feel
you know what
like
it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of a dynamic of like a new like fresh out of college like worker comes in and like they have a boss who is like way more experienced, of just like that dynamic of like, oh, you have no form, like you know nothing, like, but then also the excitement of the other end of like, oh my god, I can't wait to like, you know, be challenged and like learn and like all this other stuff.
But asshole boss.
Yes, the asshole boss. Yes, yeah, exactly.
So then we get the final round. I'm going to call them rounds. I don't know if they're rounds. This is where you get Count Adamar's experience. Like, oh, he hit him right in the face. He hits him so hard that Will went back in time to his childhood. Because we get this flashback. There was a white flash and like, boom, he's a kid now.
Yeah.
But we do get this very cute young Will, 6-7-year-old Will. And with his dad, and he's in the crowd, and he's watching the knights pass by, and he's like, "I want to be a knight." Like this is a sports movie. Like he wants to be part of the cool team. And this guy in what is that? A stocks?
Yeah, the stocks.
He's like, "You have to change your stars." And like, can I, Daddy? Can I change my stars? And that kind of becomes his mantra. You know what? You laugh, but that made me cry. Like, yes, you can, Will. You can change your stars. Like, I believe in you, little Will. You know what? I'm going to change my team setting into, I'm going to change my stars. A man can change his stars. That's what I'm going to put in my teams. Count Adamar knocks the shit out of Will. And Count Adamar wins. So we're in the award ceremony. Will, I guess, got second place. Adamar got first place. Jocelyn is still like rooting for Will, but you know, Will is pissed. But he did get enough money to pay Chaucer's gambling people. And this is where he tells them, I'm going to immortalize it in fiction. Every pimple, every defect, you're going to live forever. Like you're going to be bullied forever, basically. And they were. This is fun. And this is kind of where you get Kate wanting to, you get two very important scenes here. You get Kate wanting to join the party, but they kind of don't want to. She just takes her winnings and leave. But obviously, she's going to join the party. And then you also get Jocelyn's maid visit Will and the whole party, asking what is Will going to wear for the ball later that night. Because obviously, there's going to be a party after the tournament. And I just love how Roland starts describing Will's tunic, and it's obviously the tent that they're living in. And Watson Will's slow realization of, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a damn minute.
Later on, wait a damn minute. Hey, Roland did an amazing job.
Yes. Yeah.
Fun fact from my first campaign, I did a little bit of homage. No, nobody got, but at one point we were going to have a ball, and my character was like, can I just grab the tent and make dresses for us? And I actually rolled pretty good and actually got pretty good dresses for all of us.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. And Will is like, no, this is a disaster. I can't dance.
I don't know how to dance.
Just cut to him dancing.
Yes.
Chaucer is teaching them how to dance.
And being a really bad
stiff.
teacher.
Like, 1
yeah.
and 2 and 3. Yes, very bad teacher.
And Roland's in the background fucking sewing, which is hysterical. So
amazing. Chaucer can't help himself and makes fun of Watt. Watt punches him. They keep going. This is kind of when Kate walks in on them. Like, what are you doing?
She's like, you boys need a woman's touch in your group. And becomes the one woman.
Honestly, okay. I said this. Like, this movie is not great with women.
Yeah.
But I love her character. I love everything that she brings to the story and to the party. Like at one point,
I wanted her. I was sad that she wasn't more incorporated into the gang.
She should have been. Honestly, yeah, she should have been. She was a little bit of the outsider, but at one point, Roland later on tells Kate, "Are you a woman or a blacksmith?" And she's like, "Sometimes are both."
Which is a baller line quotes. For the time. It's a very very good line for the time.
Yes. But hey, at least he's not making Will's dress. At least that's Roland sewing the dress.
Yes, it's something.
So she ends up teaching Will and the gang some steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to the party and Jocelyn. I guess all Roland really needed to say that Will is wearing green, but because that's the only way Jocelyn is matching Will. I don't think anything else matches
shade of green,
texture.
Is it? Yeah.
No, I don't think. No, it is not. But Jocelyn just looks fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and also not medieval at all. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they're at the party, and then Count Adhemar Mean Girls Will again.
God damn.
And he's like, well, show us your dance moves, huh? Huh? I should have had a dance off. This was perfect for a dance off.
Exactly.
God damn. And Will's struggling. He's trying, and I've been there.
Yeah. He's trying to come up with a dance from his country. Yeah.
Yeah, from his country. Ulrich von Liechtenstein's from who cares country.
Liechtenstein, probably, yeah.
Jocelyn. Is that what the Von stands for?
Yeah, I think Von is from.
Okay, Miss, I had an English major expert. But Jocelyn, like a boss, saves him.
It's giving Wicked. Have you seen Wicked?
I have not. I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I didn't want to, and because I hate SpongeBob now. I don't hate him, but my wife hates him, so if she hates him, I hate him. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Why are you beefing with SpongeBob?
The guy, Adriana Grande, the guy that...
That's right.
Ethan Slater?
Yeah.
He's SpongeBob in the Broadway musical.
Yes, you're right.
He's very hunky, but that was a dick move.
I'm sorry, did you say Ethan Slater was attractive?
I said hunky. I didn't say attractive.
He's not even hunky. Look him up. No, make sure you know who you're talking. There's no fucking way.
No, you look him up, because I have looked him up.
But this motherfucker, ugly.
He's, I mean, kind of, but he's very beefy.
He doesn't even look beefy.
He's very beefy. He's like, he might have leaned up a little bit now, but he was very beefy. There's one point, like the climax of SpongeBob, he's singing. There's like a big structure, like almost looks like a web, and he has to go through like the thing. And it's vertical, so he's climbing up and down and through like things, singing, and then holding, and then he's like doing all this like very athletic things. Like it's fucking impressive. Anyway, fuck that guy. But you were gonna say something about Wicked.
So in Wicked, Elphaba shows up to their little like dance party, or like they're at a club really, and Elphaba goes out there and dances, and she's dancing alone, and then Galinda comes up and dances with her to make her feel less alone and to like help her like navigate that social environment, just like what happens in A Knight's Tale. There you go.
There Beautiful. You go. You heard it from here first. Wicked copied this scene from A Knight's Tale.
It did.
Oh, I was going to say the only reason I want to watch Wicked now is because of Emilia Perez, and that movie got so much buzz and Oscar nomination, and I hate that so much that I'm going to watch Wicked out of spite.
I love that. No, as you should. The only way I would ever watch Emilia Perez is like I have to be abnormally high. Like it can't just even be a regular high night. Like it has to be like I have to be blackout high if that's possible. I
want to watch it without like bootleg it. Like I don't want to give them any money.
Yes. And I agree with that.
Especially after I shared something on Instagram, I think today that, and I looked it up in several videos to see if it was true, but the director said that Spanish is the language of poor people and developed countries and immigrants. So that's why he did it in Mexico.
Fuck the French, man.
And then, I share that, and then I tag Guillermo del Toro because Guillermo del Toro said that that movie was a masterpiece. And I'm like, are you still defending this idiot, Guillermo del Toro?
My love.
I know.
What?
I know. Anyway,
A Knight's Tale. They're dancing.
Jocelyn saves Will, but it's kind of weird because all she did was kind of clap. So I feel like that was she just needed to. She kind of saw the opportunity of okay, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
And you do start with this very medieval music and very medieval dance moves, and I love that the movie did this, or the director obviously, but the movie did this so that it's telling the audience, if you really wanted an extremely accurate soundtrack and movie, you have this.
Yeah.
But immediately just Bowie. No, we
Yeah.
don't want this.
Yeah. Psych.
Honestly, chills.
Yeah.
Chills.
Yeah.
You get Bowie singing and they're all dancing. I love this.
Very good. I do want to say, Count Adamar, fucking little bitch baby, doesn't even post up and like try to dance. He fucking slips out the back.
He leaves.
Yeah.
I know.
Fucking coward.
After Bowie, he just dips. He's a coward.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe he hates Bowie and therefore we hate him.
Oh, we hate Count Adamar. I love the actor that they got. What's his name? Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus Sewell.
He's a great bad guy.
I only know him. The only other thing I've seen him in is The Holiday with Kate Winslet.
The only thing I've seen him in is Parija Tam. Have you seen that movie? Okay, we're gonna watch that movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay,
like it honestly is. I haven't seen it in so long, but it's it's an anthology of about 8 to 7 movies, little shorts by different directors, and he's in one of those shorts, and it's all in Paris. And it's very, like, it's about love. One's a horror. Like, Wes Craven is one of the directors. So
crazy.
It's a great little movie. And then at the end, all of the characters kind of come together in a weird way. But yeah, it's great. After the dance. And this is where we're going to end part 1. This ended up being a very fun, but a very long episode. So we're going to divide it in 2 parts. We're going to pick up right after the dance next week. But in the meantime, if you want to talk to us, email us, tell us about your favorite movies. If you like A Knight's Tale, tell us about your Ren Fair experiences. Email us to bestyeareverpod@gmail.com. DM us at bestyearer_pod on Instagram. Follow us on Blue Sky and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, review on Apple Pod and Spotify.